it is an absolute pleasure to welcome in Moose forward and Jets first rounder Cole Perfetti to Winnipeg Sports Talk Daily for the first time. Cole, what's going on? Great to have you on the program.
Hey guys, how are you? Thanks for having me on.
Things are well. The atmosphere around Winnipeg a lot better. A big night last night. Paul Stastny gets 1,000 games. Big win for the Winnipeg Jets. Excitement of playoffs going forward. So I think a lot of Jet fans are pretty fired up. I will say this though, Moose fans have been feeling that way for a little while. What a run you and your team have been on. Before we talk about you and your season, fill us in on just what has made the Moose so successful, going 10-0-2 without a regulation loss in your last dozen games.
Yeah, it's been a good run so far. We've really come together as a team. We struggled a little bit early on. I think we were just below 500 in the first couple series, and like I said, we're a strong defensive team, and we've been able to execute our game style. From day one, we were able to play strong defense and pretty strong goaltending. So we were playing really well in our own zone and not giving other teams much. It was just creating for us was a little bit of a problem and getting the puck in the net. But the last 15 games we've been able to do that, and I don't know what switched. I think it was just puck luck. We were hitting a lot of posts and couldn't really score early, and now the last month, couple weeks here, we've been able to just flood the net and on top of that continue our good defense, and that's kind of why we found so much success and why we're on a roll.
Tell us about, I want to talk about your entire year, World Juniors, the Canada opportunity going forward. But I mean, it has been absolutely, for everyone, it doesn't matter what job you're in. The year has been bizarre. People have had weird challenges. You might be one of the few people that benefited from some of the things with the chance to play in the American Hockey League. How do you feel now compared to when you set foot in that Moose dressing room? And maybe talk a little bit about Pascal Vincent and some of the people that have helped you make the big strides that we've seen you do on the ice this season.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. Like you don't really you got to experience it to see how much you have to improve, and getting that taste of pro hockey and seeing how strong, big, fast, and the pro lifestyle, the pro game, how different it is from junior hockey, and where I need to get to for next year if I want to make the jump. And to experience that firsthand, especially as a 19-year-old, it's just an advantage that not a lot of kids get. So I'm extremely grateful that I got this opportunity and just tried to make the most of it. Obviously, I was the young guy around town and on the team, and everyone kind of took me under their wing and just kind of tried to give me pointers, whether it was how to live by yourself or carry yourself on off the ice, or whether it was tips on the ice, just little stuff here and there. Kind of from every guy, I learned so much from everyone that it just I feel so much improvement.
Tell us about how, thank you for your patience again. Tell us about how this Canada opportunity came up about and how excited you are to get a chance to represent Canada again.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Like, obviously, I knew the tournament was coming up, and I didn't really think anything of it. Obviously, being in like an AHL and being so young, usually they bring just guys from the NHL. Um, and I was just at the hotel the other night, and we just finished our last game in Toronto. We were just hanging out, and got a call from my agent saying, "Hey, this might be an option. I'll give you a call in the morning." Like they seemed kind of interested, and then I woke up in the morning and we were on our way to Ottawa and just on the bus, and everything within an hour just played out, and next thing I knew, I was on the team and I was flying to Latvia on Saturday. So it kind of just all worked out, and I was able to, being from Whitby, it's only a couple hours away from Ottawa. My dad drove out and picked me up, and I got to come home for a couple of days. So just soaking up some family time before I have to head off, and yeah, it was crazy how fast it all happened and where it went. But I'm extremely excited. Every time you get to wear the maple leaf, it's a huge honor, and especially in a tournament like this, it's one of the bucket list tournaments, and um, to do it as a 19-year-old, it's pretty special. So I'm very excited and looking forward to it. I watched this tournament growing up my whole life, so to be a part of it, to kind of get a taste of double IHF at the NHL level with all this talent. I'm
Yeah,
really excited
it
and I'm
just
looking
seems
forward
like
to it.
such a great opportunity. And of course, this isn't the first time you've represented Canada, not even this year. I mean, World Juniors heading in, it really has been sort of a whirlwind for you. And I imagine it's somewhat bittersweet for you because you've probably got a lot of friends, former teammates before that haven't had much chance to play at all this year in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah, there's lots of buddies of mine from back home in junior that didn't get a chance to play, and I'm just very thankful, very fortunate, and grateful that I've had the opportunity to play hockey since November. I've, not a lot of kids got that opportunity, so I'm not taking it for granted. I'm very happy that my development as a player, as a person, continued to rise, get better, and there's a lot of kids that didn't get that opportunity this year, and I feel for them, and a lot of them are close buddies, and sucks to see them not be able to play, but at the same time, I was given an opportunity, and I'm just trying to make the most of it, and get better, and be the best I can. So.
Yeah, well, you certainly have done that. I got to ask you just, you talked about, being a part of the Moose and being the young guy. What was it like being so close to the NHL club this year as you got your feet wet as a pro?
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, this year I think it was a little bit of a different year. There's lots of movement in the AHL to the NHL with guys, but I think this year there was lots, especially with the taxi squad. Guys were coming up and down lots, so I really got to meet a lot of new faces, get comfortable with the guys. A lot of those guys on the Moose are going to be are signed with the Jets or have had opportunities with the Jets. So to get familiar, build relationships, and be friends with a lot of those guys before my first year with the Jets, it's so beneficial for me to get comfortable. And when I show up, I'm not going to be shy or quiet or not really knowing anyone. I'm going to have a good base and know a lot of people and the systems and the way that the lifestyle is in Winnipeg. I'm going to be very comfortable with all that. So, it was so good for me, and so beneficial for me to be there this year, and I'm just very thankful that I got the opportunity.
Hey, I mean, I know there wasn't much life for anybody away from work, if you will, but I mean, what was life like for you away from the rink this year? I mean, did you live with teammates? I mean, how and what did you do when you weren't playing hockey?
Yeah, so it was tough. So I moved in with I was by myself actually for the beginning for a while, and I was in the hotel. It was a nice hotel, had like the ensuite and all that kind of stuff, like the kitchenette. Sorry, so I was able to, it was kind of like a mini apartment, so I was happy with that. But over time, it got a little lonely being in there by myself, and you weren't allowed to hang out with the guys really, ever due to COVID protocol. So it was kind of go to the rink and spend as much time as you can at the rink all day, and then when you're done, you got to go home and be by yourself. So it was kind of crappy that way. But um, once they kind of caught wind that the OHL wasn't gonna go, I moved in with one of the guys on the team, Skylar McKenzie actually, and he offered me a place at his house and moved in with him, and that made a big difference being with someone. Just having someone to talk to, someone to, even when you're just hanging out, just having someone to hang out with and have face-to-face interactions with, it was huge for me and good for me mentally. So I ended up moving with him, and that was really good, and built a lot of friendships, especially there, and yeah, it was good living, learning to live on my own, and that was kind of my first taste of it. So definitely matured in that aspect, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, hopefully there'll be a lot more fun in future years when you actually, enjoy some of the city, the people of it, be more than just going back and forth from rink to hotel. But you've got a big trip coming up, heading overseas to play for Canada at the World Championships. Have they told you at all? I mean, what have you only really spoken with them through your agent, or have they told you how things are going to work, what the expectations are, or is it just a matter of getting there, go out there, show what you can do, and try and make the most of your opportunities like you've done at every step of the way?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit like that. Like they haven't said too much. I mean, I've talked to them personally, but at the same time, they're not. It's been a little bit. They haven't said too much, but my understanding is I'm going to get an opportunity, and then from there, I got to make the most of it. There's a lot of good hockey players going, so I'm not, guaranteed anything given, you know, just because I'm there. I'm not given anything special. no one has that. Everyone's going to come in kind of at the same level, and whoever's playing the best is who's going to go. That's what that's what they've said, and kind of what my understanding is. So my goal is to just, when I get that opportunity, just make the most of it, and do what I can and play the best I can, and go from there, and hopefully, continue to be successful.
Well, for young players, especially playing up against men, having their first chance to do so many of these things, confidence is so important. I mean, we've seen how confident you looked on the ice. I mean, how would you describe your level of confidence and, preparation for what's to come this year, as well as an NHL training camp next year with, I presume, your eyes set on earning an NHL job?
Yeah, it's come at a good time. I really started to take flight here and started to play my game, and really started to feel comfortable in the league the last month. And my confidence has grown a large amount, and you know I just feel like my play's elevated, and I'm able to do things that I was doing in junior, and I was able to do that at the AHL level. So I think there was always going to be an adjustment period. I knew that. It might have taken a little bit longer than I had hoped, but eventually I got there. At the 15 game mark, 14 game mark, whatever it was, I started to feel comfortable, and started to make plays. And um, that's huge for me now, because I'm riding that confidence from the success I had with the Moose. Um, going into the World Championships here, hopefully can build off that and continue that confidence, and use it throughout the summer. And then, like you said, go into Jets camp next year with that high level of confidence, and after a good off season, do whatever I can to crack the lineup.
Cole, listen, you have really excited Jet fans who were fired up from the second that your name got called in the draft, to be honest. And then, seeing what you did at the World Junior, and then coming here to Manitoba, this exciting chapter going forward and everything to come. We hope we'll be doing this many times in the future with you here on Winnipeg Sports Talk Daily, but I can't tell you the Jets and Moose fans alike will be, and they probably be pulling for Canada anyways, but I think they'll be paying far closer attention to the games, knowing that you're part of the squad. All the best. Hope it goes well, and we'll look forward to catching up heading into next season when you look to make your next step in a pretty exciting young professional career.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to talking again.
Right on. Good luck at the World Championships. There's Cole Perfetti of the Manitoba Moose, last year's Jets #1 draft pick. And yeah, we got it straight out there at the end. Got some great answers. We apologize for a couple of those blips earlier on, but hey, you know how it is. WST, working through it. But ended up just an awesome, awesome show today with Cole Perfetti, Paul Stastny, and Chris Johnson of Sportsnet. We have to thank, as I mentioned, Scott Brown, the guys over at the Jets, for helping us with Paul Stastny earlier, and Dan Fink, who does so many things for the Moose, not only limited to his amazing calls of Moose games. And by the way, speaking of those games, it sounds like there won't be any playoff hockey until sometime next week. Jets finish up on Friday. You will be able to hear the one and only Fink call Moose hockey Saturday and Sunday. I believe both games are on CGOB coming up this weekend. So if you haven't heard Dan call the games already, you're missing out. Check him out, and big thanks to him for getting it done.